a revelation of how one should live that comes from beyond and that legitimates the structure of political authority. And I mean it in that abstract sense. And that does not, and Hobbes is an answer to that as well. Hobbes has offered a way of us thinking about how we rule over each other that allows us to avoid having to refer to the authority of God. And Hobbes did not do that by refuting political theology, any one particular political theology or political theology as such. He simply shifted our attention to why it is we believe in political theologies at all. Hobbes offered another path. I'm not saying that it's one everyone can take and should take. On the contrary, I think not. I think that Hobbes came up with an alternative to all political theologies through a crisis in a particular political theology. And that's why when we look at where Professor Casanova and I agree, I think not only should we look for liberal democratic forms to arise in areas that have not gone through this history, we also shouldn't even be talking about the problem of secularization in areas that have not been touched by Christian revelation and its particular problems.
Thank you, professors. We'll now move to the student question portion of the lecture. I'd ask you to take your places at either side of the microphones. We want to give as many students as possible a chance to have the opportunity to challenge our speakers. So I'm going to ask you to be as concise as possible when asking your questions. And on one final note, at each lecture, we give out the Hardball Award to the person who asked the most challenging and thoughtful question, and last lecture's winner is Natasha Go. If you wish to be considered for the award, please state your first name and your last name clearly. However, you should beware if you ask a particularly easy question to our speakers, in which case the shameful softball award awaits for you. Now, my co-director thinks I'm a little bit crazy for threatening to do this because I have really bad aim, but I wanted to warn you that if you ask a really easy question, you may want to duck. All right, let's get started. Please.